I think Dianne Feinstein is going to be remembered as a brave senator, one who really followed her convictions, one who helped open doors for a lot of other women.
Women in politics, it's no longer an unusual thing, but back when I was young, it was quite unusual, and she broke ground.
In 1969, she became the first woman to be elected to the San Francisco Board of Supervisors, but throughout she was always a little bit too conservative, I think, for the overall electorate in San Francisco.
She was very proper. She believed in civility, she believed in decorum. You know, I think she just planted herself right in the middle and stayed there for what would turn out to be her entire career.
She ran a couple of times for mayor, was defeated a couple of times, and in the late 1970s, she had pretty much decided she wasn't going to run for mayor again. She, in fact, had told the press she wouldn't.
I got up early on November 27th, 1978. Someone yelled at me out of a bus window that the mayor had been shot. And I grabbed a taxi and got to City Hall. As I came around the corner, Dianne Feinstein was rushing past me with this look of horror on her face.
As president of the Board of Supervisors, it's my duty to make this announcement. Both Mayor Moscone and Supervisor Harvey Milk have been shot and killed.
Both Harvey Milk and George Moscone, who were extraordinarily charismatic, progressive leaders, lost their lives that day, and Dianne Feinstein automatically became mayor of San Francisco.
Her demeanor, her calm, her composure was really exactly what San Francisco needed. She was elected mayor for 9 years.
As a young gay kid in San Francisco, I think one of my first real memories is of hearing that she was going to meet with these gay political organizations that at that point were brand new, and she actively courted our vote.
And now a real crisis for San Francisco. It was big news here this morning. The AIDS epidemic, said the headlines, is spreading so rapidly that it threatens to overwhelm San Francisco's financial ability to deal with it.
Now, there was a lot of hateful political rhetoric. A lot of people were very happy about this pandemic. There was a bumper sticker. It said, AIDS, it's killing all the right people. Dianne, from the beginning, responded with compassion.
Once again, people thought that was kind of the end of the road for her. She runs for governor in 1990 and loses. But 2 years later, after we have Anita Hill confronting Clarence Thomas at his confirmation hearings, the country is suddenly seized by what becomes known as the Year of the Woman. And a whole lot of women stepped up for public office, and especially in the Senate. So all of a sudden, Dianne Feinstein is there in the Senate and really as the vanguard of a group of women who would really change the culture of the place.
History will judge us by our commitment to a just society governed by law and the willingness to face an ugly truth and say never again.
I think she came into the Senate and continued to have more of an executive temperament than a legislative one.
You know what's interesting about this group is I've been doing this for 30 years. I know what I'm doing. You come in here and you say it has to be my way or the highway. I don't respond to that.
One can criticize her on any number of issues, as I have, but her commitment to gun control and her extraordinary efforts on that issue over many, many years goes back, I know, to that horrible day in City Hall where we both witnessed firsthand what those guns can do.
The time has come to take these weapons of war off our streets. I urge my colleagues to stand tall and support this amendment.
New details this morning about Senator Dianne Feinstein's recovery from shingles. Her office sharing the 89-year-old was also dealing with a number of previously undisclosed complications. The Senate's oldest member, Feinstein, returned to the Senate just last week after missing 91 votes in a 3-month span.
It was hard not to notice in some of her public comments that sometimes she did not seem to be as on top of things as she had been before.
It funds priorities submitted.
Yeah, just say aye.
Okay, just aye.
It's been painful for me to see the decline because I remember her as being so incisive, so smart. She read every word of every report. She wasn't a cardboard cutout propped up by some staffers. She knew what she was doing, and she knew what she was talking about.
It really has been a sort of sad and messy and to a very distinguished political career, one in which she has been a path breaker.